Hello everyone and welcome to session 65 of this YouTube channel. My name is Brianna and I am the dyer, designer, and human behind The Little Wolf Knits and this channel. I am coming to you live on Tuesday, November 5th, and it's about 3 something in the afternoon, and the light is not so great and we have company over, so this probably won't be too long of a podcast, but I have some things that I have finished that I am dying to talk to you about, because even I am surprised that they are finished at this point, and some things I haven't finished yet that I've really surprised myself with. So let's just jump in and look at what I've been doing over the last week. Starting with what I'm wearing, I'm not wearing anything knitted today. However, I am wearing my Girls Just Want to Have Fundamental Human Rights t-shirt because it's election day here in the US. By the time you're watching this, it will be too late to vote. But I hope that you exercised your right to vote this past Tuesday, aka today, which is election day, and that's what I'm wearing this. I got this online, so I don't know where it's from, but I love it, and I wear it all the time, so sorry. That is the only thing I'm wearing that's worth talking about today, so let's just talk for a second about admin. A few things that are going on. We are coming to the final weeks of our Rhinebeck Rumps Mal for 2024, and it has been so fun to see lots of people trying something new, whether it's a skirt or shorts or pants, and really loving the way they're feeling about it. And so this definitely will not be the last garment mal that I run. However, it will be the last garment mal that I run for 2024. So if you haven't joined us yet, there's still a few weeks to jump in. Basically cast on, you don't have to finish. You can just pick up and work on any garment for the bottom half of your body, whether it's shorts, skirt, dress, pants, I guess a really long duster, or I don't know, get creative. Underwear. There's an underwear pattern out there. Do whatever you want, and then use the hashtag on Instagram, RhinebeckRumpsMal2024, to get entered to win some cool prizes that I'll be pulling in just a few weeks. There are some other important things coming up that I just wanted to share at the top of the episode in case you don't make it all the way to the end. I will be having a trunk show on, I should have checked the date, Saturday, Small Business Saturday, which is Saturday, November 30th at Grace and Purl in New Jersey. Super exciting. It is their 3rd anniversary, so they're doing a really fun fall sort of festival where they're going to have some loungewear, some permanent jewelry, and some yarn by yours truly. So if you're in the area, if you're a drivable distance, and you want to add that to your calendar to stop by and hang out with me a little bit on that Saturday, I will be there, I believe, from 11 to 4. But follow me on Instagram and I will share all the details there. If you're not already subscribed to my newsletter, that's a really great place to stay up to date with all of the things that I'll be doing. I think that is the only admin thing I wanted to talk about that is not yarn related. So let's jump into what I finished. Let's start with the one thing I thought I was going to finish that I actually did. It was a little bit closer than I thought it was going to be. It was a little close for comfort, but I finished my final bobbin of my Beetlejuice October fiber countdown that I stole from my shop for myself. And this bobbin is the last bobbin of my second ply, which included days 1 through 30, a 1/4 of an ounce from each day, and I spun my little heart out on it. This is day 30 that you can see right here. And finished it up this past weekend, which means that this fiber countdown was ready to ply. And I didn't have to wait to ply it because I had the first bobbin from the second ply and then the last bobbin from my first ply that have been resting for probably a week or so now. So you might just see that ply very soon. But I finished this one. I'm super excited. I've said this a bunch of times. I'm doing a fractal. Not going to talk too much about it, but I think it's really pretty. And I can't I wanted to show it to you before you see the end product, because you won't be seeing too much more of this as it's hopefully going to be wrapping up in the next few weeks. But this is the one of the few things I thought I would be finishing this week, and it was the only one that I was correct on. But the next thing that I finished is something you've never seen on here before. I've actually never done it before, and it was so exciting and such a surprise, even to me, that I finished this. But I scoured one of my fleece from Rhinebeck. So in here, this is the one I have showed you if you watched my Rhinebeck vlog, my New York Sheep and Beer vlog, or my Rhinebeck haul, which will actually be coming out in a few days, so that's kind of funny. But this is a Shetland Cross fleece. These are just some locks from it that I split with my friend MC of Blame the Knots. And when we got it, oh, this one's a little dirtier. It's so clean. This is unreal. When we got it, it was this tannish. I thought it was going to be tan with these dark tips. And I cannot believe in cleaning it how white this fiber actually is. I think it's going to be super cool and heathered once I actually get to picking this a little bit. And the grayish, they're actually really brown. So it is a very warm, let's see if I can find a better example for you. The tips, although they look black at first, are pretty brown. So once that gets somehow picked and blended, it's going to be a really cool heathered fiber. And yeah, so this is the first time I've ever scoured anything successfully. I had one other fleece I tried to scour. I need to stop touching this because dust is getting everywhere. I tried to scour and it did not go that well. So I kind of quit and gave it to my friend MC at Rhinebeck. So this is the first successful scour I've had, but I've never done any of the steps that follow this. So picking or kind of, scouring just really gets out the lanolin, some of the dirt and some of the dust, but there's still VM, vegetal matter, some hay, some dirt, things like that in here that I need to pick out. But then I need to prep this fiber to be spun and used. I could technically just spin from the lock itself, but what I think I'm going to do is use my blending board that I bought many months ago and have never touched, and maybe make some either like mini bats or turn this into rolags, depending on what that does with the color, because I really have no idea what this is going to look like. So I'm probably going to I will take you along through as much of the process as I can on here and maybe in some vlogs, so you can see what this fluffy little sheep ends up becoming, because I really have no idea. And I need to weigh it and see how much fiber is there. It was a pound before I scoured it. My friend MC has about 12 ounces left, so I'm hoping I have something similar, which means I might be able to get a sweater's quantity out of this yarn, which would be super duper cool. So we'll see, but that was a very surprise FO that popped into the queue this week. But that does mean that all of my time spinning and scouring took away some knitting time that I would have on another week. So I haven't gotten as much work done on some of my projects as I thought I would last time. So let's just chat about where I am with my whips. The first thing I want to talk about is something that I thought I would have finished, and I'm really so close. Honestly, this is one of those moments where I was like, do I just wait to record another day and try and finish this? But I don't have other time to record this week. So we have an almost finished project, and that's okay. This is in my Snickle and Mr. B bag. It's Halloween-y, but I love it. I'm thinking I'll retire it after this project and move on to some fall bags, but I love it so much I really don't want to. In this bag, this is a whip you've seen before and yarn you've seen before. This is my Sirius black colorway on my Sunfish base, and it is getting quite used up, which means I am so close to being done with this project. This is my Musselburgh hat that I'm making for my brother-in-law. So you saw this last time. Here's my little marker. Oh my gosh, I did so much on this actually. Here's my marker to show you where it was when we talked last week. And I have gotten, I don't know, probably about 12 inches done since then. This has been my movie knitting in the dark, portable on the go knitting that I've just been chipping away at an inch or so at a time. And I am ready to start the crown decreases. So this should be done, honestly, tonight. And will definitely be done. Maybe I'll even get to block it before next week. My brother-in-law wanted a black hat, and I know black yarn is really hard to get very, very black, but I'm thinking I might even over dye this with some more black once it's totally done. And then he wants a pom-pom, a brown pom-pom. So we'll see. Maybe I'll work on that once I finish this up and block it. But prepare to see this one finished next week. The only other thing that I've been pretty actively working on this past week is in my bag from the Coven Collective. You have seen this and it looks quite different from the last time we spoke. This is my Maurizio sweater from Knitwearbyjoan that I'm making for a Christmas gift. And I have chipped away at this too. This makes me actually feel pretty good. So you'll see this eggless egg salad progress keeper right there is where I was when we spoke last time. So I did about, I don't know, 6 more inches on the body since we spoke. And then I split for front and back and have done about 4.5 more inches on the front panel. So I'm hoping that potentially, if not today, because I'll be working on some other things during the movie, by tomorrow, I'll be working the shaping for the front and left shoulder here, and maybe even moving on to the back. I'm really excited. It looks tiny, but I know it's on a smaller cord than the circumference of the sweater, and it's cables. And for me, I did swatch for this, so I know I was on gauge. My cables really just block out a lot. So I'm excited to get this one in a blocking bath soon enough. I don't think I'll block it before I add sleeves unless I'm really unsure about the fit and I'm getting nervous before I join for the shoulders. So the plan is to finish, like I said, the front, do the neck shaping, and get the back panel going, if not finished, in the next week, so that I can be working on sleeves pretty much in the second half of November and have this done and off the needles before the end of the month, because that would be really nice. And it will be my last holiday gift that I'm making anyone. So that would be nice to not have on the needles to worry about during the month of December. So those are the 2 things I've been working on, and they have been taking up all of my time, which honestly, now that I see how much work I've done on them, makes a little bit more sense. The only other thing I've been working on is actually not a knitting whip at all. It is some spinning that I've been doing, and I hope you can probably guess what it is, but I have started plying my October countdown. Oh, it is so cool. So basically when you spin, in case you're not a spinner, or the way that I spun this, I spun from days 1 through 30. I guess I could have done it in reverse order if I wanted to, but I was spinning as I went and opened the calendar. So that means the outside of these bobbins are day 30. So what I had to do was actually start with my second bobbin for my first ply, and then this half, the other one, that also started at day 30, and day 30 is in the center here where you can't see, and now I am plying basically backwards until I get all the way to day 1. I'm about halfway done with the first 2 bobbins that I have, so I'm hoping that this week I will at least finish half of this and finish up those 2 bobbins and at least start the second half by working up those other 2 bobbins that I have. I would like to set a lofty goal and think I could ply this entire thing by next week, but that would literally mean finishing my Musselburgh, finishing the body of a cabled sweater, and finishing a giant 30-ounce combo spin ply. That's a lot. That is very ambitious. It would be super cool if I did it, but I'm not going to hold my breath. But it looks so, so cool so far. I'm really excited to see how this continues to shift and fade while the other colors get added. And we are still undecided on whether Michael is going to be getting this yarn or if I will be taking it. He cannot wrap his head around what it's going to look like when it's done, and honestly, neither can I, so I don't blame him. So we're just gonna finish it up, see, and then make a decision from there. But that is all that I've been working on this past week. I have not touched any of my drop spindles, and that's okay. Once I get done with this ply, once I clear off some of the needles, I think I'll have a little bit more space for spinning. I'm actually traveling this coming weekend, so I might bring one of my drop spindles with me instead of bringing, obviously I'm not going to bring all of my stuff to ply, but it would still be nice to have something to spin on at least a little bit. But that's all that I've been working on this week. So let's just talk about what's in the shop. A few things have changed in the shop, but not too much. Like I said, our Ghost with the Most colorway is done. It is retired. Maybe it will come out of the vault next year, but I do have 2 single skeins still available. So if you wanted one of those and you missed out, you should probably pause this right now, head over to the shop and grab one or both of those before they're gone. Our super shitty December single day or main skein option is still available and in the shop. I finally finished up dyeing all of the minis for those, which means if weather allows and they dry in the next day or 2, I'll be winding all the yarn and I can start bagging and labeling those and then hopefully fully assemble them by the beginning of next week and get them out the door. And then we'll know how many extras we have. And like I said, make sure you're watching these videos, stay subscribed on my newsletter and turn on notifications for Instagram if you want to make sure that you get an opportunity to grab one of those, because there will only be a small handful of them left. Our Valentine How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days inspired boxes are still available. I'm really excited. I know I keep saying this now that I'm wrapping up our December countdowns. I feel like I can really start to get planning and looking forward to those February boxes. So I've been thinking about names and I'm excited to watch through the movie and start some of that color planning. So grab one of those while you can. They will probably come down at some point in December. So there are still a few weeks to grab one before they're gone. And then last but not least, we have our November clubs that are available. I know I talked about them last week, but they were not dyed and dried and ready to show you. So I have brought them here today. Actually, I brought one here today because it is dyed and dried. The other one, I dyed. It is not dry. I actually re-dyed it and made a few small tweaks. So I'm gonna go downstairs and grab it. It's a little wet, but I wanted you to see it anyway. So the first club colorway that we have for November is the Holiday Armadillo from Friends. And that's so good. This like layers of this golden and purples and periwinkles and really fun speckles, brown and purple sort of speckles. And I don't know, it's just really fun. Something about it, I mean, reminds me of holiday. I think the golden, but this lavender and purple periwinkle is unexpected, at least when I think of the holidays, but I think it still really works. Then we have our other November club that I need to go grab. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It also matches me. It's very much my colors. So the other November club that we have here is our How I Met Your Mother club, and this is Legendary. It is still quite wet, so I don't have it skeined up, but let me give you a rough idea of what it will look like. Oh, there we go. It has really cool layers of this like burgundy, this bluish gray. This is like the palest greenish tinge, and then this cool like olivey sort of gray mixed in, and some really just barely there speckles that I love, and again is like giving major winter vibes. I think it would be very, very nice for a sweater, thinking for the new year to wear in the winter. I'm actually imagining this in a design that I'll be starting on actually today, the one I showed you last time, in a garter sweater. And I think this could be really, really sharp. So if you want either of our November clubs, Legendary, How I Met Your Mother, or Holiday Armadillo, they are both in the shop now. Our tailgate colorway collection, our tailgate party collection is still in the shop and will remain in the shop through February. But our spooky collections are out the door. I have listed any remaining spooky yarns in the shop as ready to ship. I think we have a few skeins of Sisters, a few skeins of Witch's Brew, a few skeins of This Is Halloween, maybe one skein of Calaveras. And that might be all, maybe one skein of Troll Boogies. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. So if you want any of those to grab so that you can cast on some Halloween socks in preparation for next year, and you don't want to wait for next year to come around, you can grab those now. But I know y'all were really excited about this and encouraging me to put these up as soon as I possibly could. Our holiday yarn collection, it's our holiday treats collection technically, is back in the shop, which means all of our holiday colorways can now be ordered as dyed to order. And that is a lot of what I'm going to be bringing with me at my trunk show later this month. So we have our 5 sort of signature holiday treats colorways. We have Don't Forget the Rum, Peppermint Bark, Gingerbread House, Sugar Plum, and Don't Forget the Rum, Peppermint Bark, Gingerbread House, Sugar Plum, and Spritz Cookies. And then they're coordinating tonals. A lot of other very wintry colorways will be up in that collection. So if you just want to search by theme, it'll be on the homepage of my website by the time you watch this. So that is super exciting. I know some of y'all have been emailing me and reaching out to me about those. So you can go ahead and get those orders so you can get those started or cast on right at the beginning of December. Other than that, I don't think there's too much else in the shop that I need to talk about at this point. So let's just talk about life for a second. I feel like I have said this every week for the last at least 4, if not 6 or 8 weeks, but I feel like I've been so busy and so much has been happening, and yet I don't know even what to talk about here. I'm trying to think back to what was going on, what happened within this last week. So this last week, Halloween happened. So that means Michael and I finished up our Halloween movie madness, Michael's movie madness, and we watched a few actually really cool movies that I had never seen before, which feels wild. We watched Get Out, and we watched Us, which were both super awesome. And then we watched Trick or Treat on Halloween night, which was really fun because we didn't have any Halloween plans, and we don't actually get any trick-or-treaters in our area on Halloween night. They do a Halloween on the weekend, either before or after. So this year they did Halloween last weekend when we weren't in town, so we did not get a single rogue trick-or-treater on Halloween night, but it was still pretty fun to watch some spooky movies, finish up our month of scary movies, but we realized there were a lot of movies we didn't get to see this month, so we're just going to continue the Halloween fun. If you can see behind me, we have not put away our Halloween decorations yet, and we were thinking about keeping them up through November, but I think I'm at a point where I'm done with them, and we will be taking them down. However, we will not stop watching spooky, scary movies, at least for the time being. And then what else happened? That was Halloween. And then this weekend, our friends actually came into town, Natalie and Kent. They are here, like I said, downstairs, probably listening to me while I record this. If they can hear me, they're pretending not to, so that's very kind of them. But they came in this past weekend, and they'll be staying with us for a little bit until they move on to their next place. So we just had a really awesome weekend. We decided Saturday was going to be a day for couch rotting, football watching, hanging out, reading, knitting, spinning, just hanging out. We ordered pizza. It was really great. And then Sunday, we had a little bit of work to do in the morning. That's actually when I decided to scour this yarn, this fiber, this fleece. And I didn't decide that until the Saturday night before. So it was a little bit of a surprise Sunday morning to do that. But then we spent a lot of the day on Sunday at Bacon Fest, which happened in Easton this weekend. So that was really fun, a little overwhelming. I always forget how many people are at this thing, despite trying to remind myself. So a lot of people, but we had some really yummy food. We got a lot of like sweet treats, which is fun, and we're still snacking away on those. And then it's been really fun to just like have friends in town and enjoying time together. So we've been doing a lot of working, which is nice that everyone is getting lots of work done. But we've also been hanging out and having lunch together and doing some spinning. So I taught my friend Natalie, if y'all follow Nitty Natty on YouTube or Instagram, this year at Rhinebeck, she actually got a bump of fiber and she decided she wanted to learn to spin. So we had talked about it and we said, hey, when you come out to visit, why don't I teach you to spin? And then we can spin together. If you like it, awesome. If not, that's cool. And so far, I think she's loving it. And I might be more excited about it than she is because it's so, so fun to have friends who like the things that get you super excited, you know? So that's been really cool. Tonight we're going to see a movie. We're going to see The Wild Robot, and we're heading out a little early because it is the only showtime. But that's okay because that means we'll be back home to potentially look and watch the maybe wrapping up of the election results. We don't really know what's going to happen tonight. So that's the plan. We're going to do a little double date night, and I'm super excited. The rest of the week should look a lot like this past few days have looked, which will be really great. But like I said, Michael and I have a wedding this weekend, so our weekend will be booked and super fun, and I cannot wait to see what the next few days brings. Not just for life, but for all of our making. So until next time, take care of each other. Bye.